Hello everyone. There are several different ways that you can do a CMA inside your Paragon system. One is coming up to the CMA button and clicking on Create CMA. You may also have a third-party integration that allows you to do a quick CMA also. However, I want to show you an additional way to do a CMA inside Paragon. And it all starts with a search. And so to simplify things, I've put in criteria that would match the criteria of my seller's property. That way I can find comparable properties. With my criteria in, I'm going to go ahead and click on search. As I click on search, we're going to have the results displayed. And here I have my results. Notice I have some statistics across the top of the screen. Those are not a part of any report. These are just hovering over the top of the report. And so as you're looking at this, there's a couple of steps I'd like you to make note of, and then I'm going to ask you to stop taking notes as far as how to do this. That way I can show you some reports I think you should utilize. Then I'll tell you when to start taking notes again on the process to create your quick CMA. So I've put in criteria. That's step one. I've clicked on search and I now have my results. That's step two. And a part of step two, you're going to step through each of these different listings and verify that they are good properties for your seller when it comes to the comparable properties. Once you've verified that these are good properties for your seller, I'm going to recommend you check the box at the top of the column. That way you've selected all of your listings that's in this setting. Now, stop taking notes. What I want you to do is look at some of the different reports I think will make for you a quick CMA. So by clicking on reports, I'm going to move down to where it says CMA. And by clicking on the plus sign, I expand that window or that folder, and notice I have two reports here. I want to show you both of these reports. The first report is the quick CMA. As this report is loading up, this report is actually one of the reports inside your module CMA, and it's one that I think is a good report to use. Now, the strong points of this particular report is notice it's showing 4 properties sitting side by side. You can, by using the Customize button, choose which fields you have coming down the left-hand side, which help you differentiate between each of these different properties to find their similarities and their differences. I like this particular report. Another nice thing about the report is you can, by clicking on the spinner, the tool that's on the bottom of the picture, you can step through and see each of the different pictures of these properties, again to verify that they are good comparable properties. As you continue through this process, if you find any particular property is not a good comparable property, simply uncheck the box, and Paragon will not use those properties as a part of your quick CMA. After you've stepped through each of the different pages here at the top, verifying that yes, these are good properties, I want you to come back over to the toolbar on the left-hand side and click on the check button. By doing that, we're now looking at just those properties you have affirmed as being the ones you want to utilize. With that in place, I'm going to come over and I'm going to click on Reports and show you a second report I think you should use. It's called CMA Summary. By clicking on CMA Summary, we're going to take all of the properties and organize them according to their status. Notice how you have the statistics at the top. They're hovering over the top. They're not part of any of the reports. However, on the CMA Summary report, notice how statistics are built into it. These will actually print out when you print this report. Now, inside the module CMA, there is a report called CMA Summary. They are similar in nature, but yet uniquely different. The one inside the CMA module, because it's in portrait orientation, only allows you to have 5 customizable fields. This particular report, that's just one of your regular property reports, is actually in the horizontal mode. And because it's horizontal, you can choose up to 10 customizable fields. Now, what we want you to realize is that over here on the far right-hand side, total floor area, listing price, and total or price per total floor area, those are already built into the report and not a part of those 10 customizable fields. Now, for each of the different classes, and you customize this by clicking on Customize and Fields, for each of the different statuses, you would use this drop down in order to choose each of the different statuses, and then on a status by status basis, you can choose your fields. Notice how we have different fields that are grayed out. Those are automatically built into your report. You can't change those, they're automatically there. It's above that that you would then add your up to 10 customizable fields. So again, you would come through customize on a status by status basis, and once they're done, click on save. That will then give you the set of fields that are coming across the spreadsheet. And notice that we've got these organized according to status. So here's my active properties. On the right-hand side, we're told that there are 11 active properties. As we move down the page, notice you have a one line for each property. As you're looking at these, again, if you don't want to use a particular property, you can uncheck the box, and by clicking on check, you'll now refresh this match to be only those properties you have selected. As you continue on down the page, notice at the bottom it's going to tell you for each of these different properties and their numeric fields, we're going to give you an average, a minimum, a maximum, and a median. So as you look right on through, you can see, as you roll back up to the top, we're talking about total bedrooms, bathrooms, full and half bathrooms, total parking, square footage and all, and then we have our days on market. And so you're going to get those different statistics coming down along with your different dollar values and square footage values. Continuing on down, notice that we have 15 properties that are part of the sold. Again, for each of those, I've customized the fields I'm going to use for differentiation. And then down at the bottom, notice I have, again, the different breakouts. I have the average, the minimum, the maximum, and the median. And as you're looking at all these different fields, again, realize at the top, you've got your total square footage and all the other information coming across. In this case, it's also giving you listing price and price per total floor area, selling price, total price, or price per total floor area. So you've got your breakouts. Coming on down, we also have your expired listings. And because there's more than 3, we can give you a minimum, a maximum, average, and median. This would be a second report that I would recommend to you. A third report I would recommend to you is found down underneath reports. By clicking on the plus sign for the folder, I would come down to sold price. For the sold price report, we ignore all status properties that are something other than sold. So this report is only going to show the sold properties. And notice it tells you that it's residential detached, single family in Vancouver West. As we continue on down, notice we have ML number, address, original price, selling price, percentage of selling price to original price, and days on market. As you move on down, notice that we then give you an average for all the properties and then a total. This would be the third proper report I would use. And then for the third, excuse me, for the fourth report, I would use the Bing map. By using the Bing map, we can display up to 100 properties on the page. And so it'll have up to 100 properties on the map. We also have information about each property here on the side. And then with the numbers here, you can then see where those properties are out on the map. This report can also be printed out if you would like. And so for a quick CMA, if you've got a seller that's saying, just give me the numbers, I think these 4 reports do it. So when it comes to printing this out, you'd come over to print, come down to print plus. And by clicking on print plus, a window opens up and Paragon's going to ask you, do you want to use the listings that are selected, all in your results, the last one you clicked on, or the current page? Now I'm going to come up and I'm going to choose all that are selected. The current page would refer to the Bing map. And because I was on the Bing map when I went to print plus, it's already in the print selected side ready to be printed out. Well, I now want to add those other reports that I had selected. So now with step 3, because step 1 was do the search, step 2 was look at your results and vet them and find exactly which ones you want to use. Step 3 is print. So since I've shown you what those different reports are, let me scroll down to the bottom, and here I have CMA Quick View, that's the 4 side by side. CMA Summary, that is the one that has the properties grouped according to their status with average, high, low, median as your options, and then I'm going to choose sold price. Going to select those. I'm going to take the Bing map and move it down. That way, as I present this to my client, they're going to see the properties side by side, 4 to a page. We're then going to group them together by status and give statistics. Going to show them what's going on with the sold properties, and then we have a Bing map that shows, yes, these properties all came from your area. By clicking on Print Preview, I can then generate a preview of those reports. It may take a minute or 2 for this to generate it up. This bar that's rotating indicates that we're gathering all those different properties, all 31, in the different reports that have been selected, and it'll then be displayed for us. And the nice thing about this is it's now ready for you to print and take out to your seller. Doing this kind of report, this kind of CMA, will take you no more than 10 minutes. Why? Because you know how to put in the criteria to find your comps. You would then do a quick vetting of the comps to find the ones that are exactly good to match for your seller's property. And then because you've already familiar with the quick view, the summary, sold price, and Bing map, you don't have to go through and review them like I've shown you in this webinar, in this recording. You can just go ahead and select those reports and send it to print. And once it generates up, you can then use the scroll bar to scroll on down and verify, yes, these are the properties I want to be utilizing. Let me go ahead and close out of this. And that kind of functionality that I was showing you is great if you want to make that face-to-face presentation. Sometimes you can't meet with them face-to-face for whatever reason, and you need to email to them the CMA information. Well, I've got a quick way to do that. You don't want to take that PDF that we were generating it, save in it, and attach it to your email. You could have a PDF that would exceed the maximum email size that could be received by your seller's inbox. So I got a quick way for you to do this. By coming over to Actions and moving down to Add CMA, we're going to take these comparable properties and add them to the CMA module. Again, Paragon's going to ask, do you want all that are selected or the last one you clicked on? I'm going to choose all. The other option down below is Add Listings to a new CMA. That's what I want to select. So I click on Select. And we're now going to open up the CMA module as if we clicked on CMA and came over to create a presentation. However, I'm going to come down directly to step 5, and I'm going to move down and choose a couple of reports. I do want to choose the CMA vertical report. That's the property report. That's 4 properties side by side. This report here and the one I showed you with the quick CMA just a minute ago are exactly the same report, no difference. I'm also going to come down and use the CMA summary. Now, in this case, this is a report that is only 5 selectable fields or customizable fields because this is in the portrait mode. So you're not going to have as much information. Plus, you're not going to get the high, low, average, and median. All you're going to have is average for those particular properties. I then also want to choose the map. That way I can show that these properties all come from the same area. With those particular reports selected, I'm going to click on Generate Presentation. And by clicking on Generate Presentation, Paragon says, okay, verify that you've got the right report selected, then click on Start. And by clicking on Start, Paragon's going to go out and assemble the appropriate documents. And once they're all assembled, it's going to start converting them to PDF. And once those are converted, you then have a couple of options. One is to print it out. If you're going to print it out, I would do the other version because you can have additional reports there like that sold price report. However, by coming up with this kind of setup, and this is that one that we started generating just a couple of minutes ago with a quick CMA, so you can see how these properties line up one next to each other. There we have the CMA summary. So this is now in landscape mode. There we have all of our different statistics. Again, we have those broken out according to their different statuses. Here's our sold price report, and here's the Bing map. Now you can see where those properties are all clustered together, and there's a number with each of those different property flags. Those flags relate to these properties as they're coming down the page. And again, you can have up to 100 properties displayed on this particular map. If you like what you see, using your print tools that are based on your browser, you can then print or save this as a document to your computer. Given how I've got mine set up, I click on File, and here I can either save it or I can print it. Let me come back over to this where we've now used the CMA module. And when we're working with the CMA module, we can then come right on down and notice we have those properties 4 to a page, side by side. And this is exactly the same report we saw just a minute ago when I showed you the generation of that quick CMA. So here I have my different properties. Again, I have them 4 to a page. Let me just grab my scroll bar and come down a little bit quicker. And notice we're given some statistics here. This is a function of your CMA module. So I have listing price, selling price, high, low, average, and median. So those statistics are carrying forward for us. Moving on down, I have my CMA summary. Now this one has 5 customizable fields coming across, but we also do include automatically days on market, listing price, and price per total square foot area. And then we have the average for those at the bottom. Continuing on down, there's my sold properties. Again, days on market, listing price, price per total floor area, selling price, and then price per total floor area. Going to show all those properties together, again with their averages, and then we have at the bottom the statistics for those properties. As I continue on down, here's my map. And on my map, we then list out those different addresses. We have the flag number, MLS number, we have address, city, province, postal code, and the asking price of the property. And the balance of those would be then displayed on the additional pages. And there you have the CMA that you would email out of Paragon as a hyperlink. Notice the email button. By clicking on email, we open up the email template. You can find your recipient from your contacts by just typing their name, or if it's a brand new client, just type in their email address, and you don't have to have them in a contact record. You can also add whatever attachments you want to this and click on send. So either way, you've got a quick, easy way to use the simple search functionalities of Paragon and either choose the reports you want to print out or add the results to the CMA module, and then again, choose the reports you want to print out, or instead of print out, email out, and that way you're done, ready to send that information off to your inquirer, to your seller. Either way, you're probably talking a total of 15 minutes to do that work. That becomes a quick, or 10 minutes, I should say, to do that work, and it becomes a quick, easy way for you to find your properties and get the raw data with some information as far as for statistics, and then make your presentation to your seller. And that is how you would do a quick CMA inside Paragon.